top story tonight. A man reported to be a nightclub owner transporting women to their work at the club is among several persons recovering from their injuries in a horrific crash that has resulted in the death of 3 people. A 4th person is in critical condition after the vehicular collision on the Riverdore Road on Saturday night. The vehicles, a rented white Toyota and a black Jeep, were traveling in opposite directions. DBS's Christy Rikai begins our news coverage, and we wish to advise viewer discretion since some of the footage that will be shown may be considered unsuitable for sensitive viewers.
The impact of the collision crumpled the metal car like paper, trapping 4 people inside. People living in the area reported hearing a loud crash followed by a massive thud as the car apparently overturned and landed on the road. When they rushed outside to investigate, they were greeted by the carnage, the Toyota car on its back, and a badly damaged black Jeep with which it had collided.
I was pretty certain that anybody who was sitting at the front was dead before the car hit the ground, because it was that terrible, you know. Looking at, judging from the damage in the car, I was pretty certain of that.
How many people were in the Jeep as far as you know?
In the Jeep, I could not see because the way the Jeep was situated, I couldn't see inside. It was kind of wedged on its side into my flower garden, so, you know, I could not see inside, and it had tinted glass. So I didn't know about that, but that had airbags, so I was kind of all right, them being alive.
Mr. Tudor was one of the first persons on the scene. He says his next-door neighbor, who was with him and had a mobile phone, summoned emergency crews. Dead as a result of the accident are 24-year-old Yo friend sat in the passenger's seat.
That's the only daughter. I miss her a lot. Last night after 10 o'clock, my niece called me and said my daughter passed away. She was in an accident. After that, I went to the place and I found it was incredible. I couldn't imagine how they removed her in the car. It was terrible.
Also in the vehicle was Cheryl Prosper, who was also killed in the accident, while her friend, identified as Jackson Clement, is in critical condition at St. Jude Hospital. It is reported that he was sitting behind the driver's seat at the time of the impact.
And people tried to do something like turn the car upside down, and I told them it's best if they don't touch anything because they are not professionals, they don't know what they're doing. Someone could be trapped in a car, and by turning the car around, it could actually hurt them even more. So luckily the ambulance was there quite quickly.
In addition to the 3 people in the Toyota car that were killed and the 1 man that was injured, eyewitnesses say there were 5 persons traveling in the black Jeep that sustained various injuries, including the driver who suffered a broken limb. For the DBS News World, this is Christy Rikai reporting.
And as you heard in the Christy Rikai report, the 4 persons who were traveling in the rented Toyota car were on their way back from a Valentine's Day event when tragedy struck. The death of 3 of them has plunged their families into mourning.
Yes, Mom, in my church yesterday. Women in my church. Men in my church. Except anyway. Moish. Joan Bokota. Mokotaishwe. Marisa Fesaishwe.
Yeah, Bible. 11 Joan vin home. Il mangeait, il parlait. Moi, de Joan. Il jouait pas pièce côté où était là. Il demande toujours, c'est Valentines Day, moi, avec vie. Il vient home encore, il était 7 heures, il vient home. Il mangeait et il partit. Il demande, il brasse et il brasse, moi, et il partit.
For relatives of Johan Senkwai, it's the 2nd time in a year that they have had to face tragedy. Sunday marked the 1st anniversary of the death of a cousin in Saltibus.